Assalamu alaikum dear students. My name is Mansoor Khan and today we will discuss about advanced academic reading and writing. It's our 12th lecture, and in this very lecture we are going to discuss about research writing in academic discipline. In this particular lecture, we are going to discuss about establishing authority in academic writing, taking control of your research, types of sources, and how do you control bias in research. So, let's start with our first topic, and that is establishing authority in academic writing. In previous lecture, we have discussed about research sources, and different things about research, like why you are going to research and how you can be an effective researcher. So here we will discuss different things like establishing authority in academic writing, and like other things, that how can you search your sources and how can be you a good researcher. So our first topic is establishing authority in academic writing. There are 6 ways of establishing authority in your academic writing. First thing is write with authority. If you are not authoritative in your writing and you are biased, so you can't be a good writer. For a good writing, you must have to be biasless and without any hesitation. You will have to research and to get ideas of the research and to give conclusions according to your own ideas which you have discovered during your research. Know the facts. For a good research, you must have to visit all the possible ways and all the possible data and all the possible resources to find out the real facts of that particular topic. So you will face less complexity, and you will have to be a good research writer, and you can be a good researcher. Okay, for a good research, you must have to be honest. If you are researching over a topic, so for that, as I have stated, that you have to be biasless. So you have to be honest as well. Like you don't have to show any bias approach to any of your research subjects. Respect their intelligence. You have to respect the intelligence of your subjects. You have to acknowledge that all the data you are getting and all the data you are collecting from the subjects, you have to follow them with full attention, and you have to give respect to them as well. Maintain consistency. You have to be constant. If you are going to research over a topic, so you have to maintain your consistency. You not have to break it down and in some times a person is having an idea about a thing, if and if he is going to cut down or break down that consistency, and he join that particular thing after a few days or a few months, so he can't be having those particular outcomes. It can be changed. So you have to show consistency whenever you are collecting data and analyzing, evaluating that particular data. Do it right. If you are going for a research, so you must have to be clear that I am whatever happened, I am going to write down what I have in real. I will not be biased one, or I will not do it wrong. You must have to do it right. Okay, our next topic is taking control of your research. If you are going to research, so you must have to take control of your research. Use multiple people to quote the data. As I have already told you people that for a good research you must have to visit all the possible resources, so you can find your findings will be accurate and appropriate. Have participants review your results, and whenever you are going to give results or outcomes to your research, you must have to review it from the participants. Verify with more data sources, and you have to verify all these outcomes with more data sources. Check for alternative explanations. Check all the possible alternative explanations, and assume that if you are going to write down these outcomes in this way, what will be the outcomes or the repercussions of this very particular research. Review findings with peers. You have to check it with peers, or you have to review it with the help of your fellows, your teachers, your peers. Okay, our next topic is types of sources. What sources you can visit for your research to gain accurate and appropriate data. So here are some sources of the some types of the sources. Number first is scholarly publications. If you are going to search different publications, first you all know that now you are going to enter the era or the group or the club of the scholars. So whenever you are going to or you are in the group of the scholars, so you have to change your search areas, or your you have to advance your what your sources. Okay, so if earlier than this, okay, so if earlier you were searching data on Wikipedia and using softwares like that, general Google, so now you have to use Google Scholar. You will have to write down Google Scholar on Google, and you will have to enter to the different scholarly publications over there, and you have to read the different articles on the same topics about your own topics. Popular sources, news magazines, you have to read different popular sources like news, like magazines, to enhance your vocabulary, to enhance your skills about the research. Professional trade sources. Here are the sources which are in hard forms. Here is your peers, here is your teachers, and here is the experienced ones. Different books are the chapters of books. It can be also be a type of sources that you can visit different books and different book chapters. Conference proceedings can also be a type of source. Government documents, if you required some data, so you can take it from government documents as well, so it can be a type of source. Thesis and dissertation. Thesis is basically the research project of master and MPhil level, while the dissertation is something related to the PhDs. The thesis of PhDs or dissertation, we can say that they are doing their dissertation. So you can search all these things for your research to find to have good and appropriate findings. So you can take help from all these types of sources for your research. Okay, our next topic is conclusion and recommendations. Whenever you are concluding your research must be written to relate directly to the aims of the project, as stated in the introduction. In the introduction chapter, you will have to answer some questions, like one question or two questions, which will show your research project, that why this person or the researcher is going to do this particular research. So you have to bring all the data accordingly or directly in the direction of the project questions to answer those particular questions. Indicate the extent to which the aim have been achieved. You will have to indicate the extent to which the aim have been achieved. Summarize the key findings, outcomes, or informations in your report. You will have to summarize it at last, the findings, the outcomes, and the informations in your report as well. Okay, acknowledge limitations and make recommendations for future work. So, at last, you will have to acknowledge all the limitations and You will also have to make recommendations for the future work as well. Okay, how to find research paper sources. Now this one is important one of all, that how a person can find or how a person can search for their sources, for his or her sources, to write down a research paper. You will have to start with Wikipedia, and you can also use the Google Scholar. You will have to write down just Google Scholar in the Google, and whenever you are going to open that, you will have a lot of articles, you will have a lot of research publications over there, and you can easily search your interest area over there, and you will have a lot of data over there, those particular subjects, and you can easily take help of those research papers, research articles, and research publications of different levels, X, Y, Z levels. So you now can have help of those particular publications. Okay, go to the library. If you are going to the library, so you will have you will have things related to the subject or related to your own topic over there. Now if you are searching for a library, so you can find different sort of libraries over here. Now different libraries which the students or the researchers are going to use for their research process, that are those are the digital libraries. And the HEC is going to give different platforms to the researchers, to the best researchers of Pakistan, and even to each and every university. They are going to give digital libraries, so you can take help of the library as well as the digital library for your research process, to have best and good findings for your research. So you can also use the digital libraries as well as the general libraries. Find the top few secondary sources cited in the articles. You will have to search for different articles, and after that you will have to find few secondary sources cited in the article. There must be some sources, secondary sources, which the author will cite in the different articles. So if you are still confused, so search those secondary resources which are given in the different articles, like the references of the author. So you can take help of those cited resources as well. Follow the trail of citation. You can also follow the trail of the citation for your research project. Okay, now mix up your research paper sources types. You are not confined to any source. You will must have to visit all the sources, all the possible sources. So you will have to mix up your research paper sources, and you will have to mix all the data given from those particular research papers, and you will have to put those ideas in your own words to gain specific outcomes. Get at least one source per page of your research paper. So here are some ways, or here are some paper sources from which you can get help for your research paper and to have findings according to your own mind, and have findings which are appropriate and adequate. Thank you so much for listening. Hope we will come soon with a new video. Till that time, Allah Hafiz.